It is a long history of humankind that those who learn to collaborate and improvise most effectively have prevailed. In today's world, it has become apparent that the research needed to address today's complex problems required the expertise from multiple disciplines. I, Dr. Neetu Kataria, co-convener Shodh 2023 and your host, welcome you all in the 7th National Conference for Doctoral Students on Emerging Strategies in Research Going Beyond Disciplinary Boundaries, organized by Sri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya. It is indeed a privilege to have such a distinguished personalities over here. Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. D.M. Paston, Distinguished Professor, Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya, Dr. Upinder Dharkar, Rector and Dean, Faculty of Doctoral Research, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya, and Convener Shodh 2023, Dr. Santosh Dhar, ma'am, respected session chairs of all the technical sessions, member of session management team, all HOIs, HODs, and member of SCCC, all the distinguished delegates who are with us. Welcome you all. Foremost, I request all the dignitaries and audience to join traditional auspicious lamp lighting ceremony and Saraswati Vandana as a tribute to Ma Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. Technical.
Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma mritam gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Ya kundendu tushar धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
Welcoming the guest is a part of code of conduct for the Indian culture. I request our technical team to present virtual bouquet to our chief guest, Dr. D.M. Paston, on behalf of Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Upinder Dharkar, and Dr. Santosh Dhar, Madam, co-convener, for 2020.
Thank you.
Welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. Shodh is the flagship event of Sri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya since 2017. Shodh 2023 is the 7th in the series. Now I invite Convener Shodh 2023, Dr. Santosh Dhar, ma'am, to give an overview of this conference. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Neetu. Chief guest on the occasion, Dr. D.M. Pestonji, Distinguished Professor, IIM Ahmedabad, Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya, panelists for the Best Thesis Award, chairpersons of technical sessions and a panelist of Best Paper Award, co-convener Shodh 2023, Dr. Neetu Kataria, HOIs, HODs of constant institutes of the university, faculty colleagues of Sri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya, research scholars, delegates from various institutes, a warm welcome to 7th Doctoral Conference, Shodh 2023, on the theme, emerging strategies in research going beyond disciplinary boundaries. Going beyond the disciplinary horizons is an emerging trend of modern research. It is becoming increasingly important for devising solutions to the society's most pressing unsolved issues. Within the disciplinary framework, the ability to solve problems through the generation of knowledge has traditionally been addressed from discipline-specific points of view. However, it has become apparent that the research needed to address today's complex problems requires the expertise of many disciplines. In this way, transdisciplinary, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary contributions incorporate a combination of concepts and knowledge not only used by academicians and researchers, but also by other actors in civic society, including representatives of the private sector, public administration, and the public. These contributions enable the cross-fertilization of knowledge and experiences from the diverse groups of people that can promote an enlarged vision of a subject as well as new explanatory theories. Rather than being an end in itself, this kind of research is the way of achieving innovative goals, enriched understanding, and a synergy of new methods. The mushrooming prevalence of multifaceted scientific disciplines such as biophysical chemistry, biomedical engineering, mechatronics, bioinformatics, cyber forensics, cyber psychology, cyber security, etc., testifies to the rising importance of multidisciplinarity for addressing contemporary challenges. Being multidisciplinary does not mean giving up skills. It means moving into new scientific directions using one's own special set of skills. New Education Policy 2020 also emphasizes to make higher education institutions multidisciplinary. The objective is to move towards learning about how to think critically and solve problems, how to be creative, and how to innovate, adapt, and absorb new materials in novel and changing fields. In view of this, Sri Vaishnavi Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya organizes Shodh every year exclusively for research scholars with an aim to provide them a platform to disseminate the knowledge they have generated in the course of their research journey. Quality research is of prime importance. In order to keep the research scholars fully charged and motivated for quality research, last year we instituted Best Thesis Award and the Best Paper Award. The presentations of Best Thesis Award were held on 25th March before the panel of experts, and the results will be announced in the valedictory session today. Today, in the concurrent technical sessions, the paper presenters will be evaluated for the Best Paper Award, and the results will be again declared in the valedictory session. Like every year, this year also, we have come up with a souvenir that is Saransh, that gives a glimpse of knowledge generated through the works of research scholars during their journey of doctoral research. And the book entitled Emerging Strategies in Research Going Beyond Disciplinary Boundaries, wherein only select papers after rigorous review have been published. We hope that research scholars will be able to draw leverage from this platform that has been provided to them through this conference, and very objective with which this conference is conceptualized will be achieved. With these words, wishing you all the best of learning and takeaways from this conference. Thank you all. Over to Neetu.
Thank you.
Neetu,
you are on mute.
Thank you, ma'am. Of the Shodh 2023. Now I request Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Vaishnavi Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya, Dr. Upinder Garkar, to welcome our guests by warm words and gestures. Over to you, sir.
Respected Dr. D.M. Pestanji, Dean, Faculty of Doctoral Studies, Dr. Santosh Dar, Directors of various constituent institutes of the university, delegates for this Shodh 2023, and friends. At the outset, I would like to welcome our chief guest, respected Dr. D.M. Pestonji, and all of you on this special occasion when we are inaugurating the 7th season of Shodh. We thought of Shodh as a platform exclusively for PhD scholars in 2017. And since then, we have been organizing this event, this conference, every year without fail. Even during COVID, it continued. And from COVID times, we learned to do it online. Before COVID, we were doing it offline, but since then we are doing it online. And we have found that it is convenient to resource persons, chief guests, and others who have not to travel physically, but at the same time we can get connected. And that's how we are connected today. Coming to the theme of this conference, Shodh 2023, Emerging Strategies in Research, Going Beyond Disciplinary Boundaries. See, this is a going beyond disciplinary boundaries is the buzzword today. And our National Education Policy 2020 also advocates for it. NEP 2020 emphasizes that we should not restrict ourselves within the boundaries of a discipline. For the holistic development of the students, it is necessary to go beyond these boundaries, break these boundaries, and learn from each other so that we are wiser in our understanding about this life and what happens around us. So far as interdisciplinary concept of interdisciplinary research is concerned, say if we go by Webster, what interdisciplinary means, it refers to involving two or more academic, scientific, or artistic disciplines. So perhaps the best place to start in thinking about the benefits of interdisciplinary study is to first consider the nature of disciplines. It is worth remembering that many academic disciplines are constructions themselves, that they have been developed by people working in a particular field and that they offer a particular focus of knowledge. When we consider interdisciplinary learning or say teaching, we are working across boundaries of knowledge and creating new knowledge from various sources. C.P. Snow famously talked of two cultures in the sciences and arts, with a gulf of mutual incomprehension, with the gulf of mutual incomprehension. This was reported by Snow long back in 1965. So when it came to the explanation of what does this mean, it means gulf of mutual incomprehension between the two, that means two disciplines. Say on one side sciences broadly, and on other side arts. Each sect, he used the word sect, each sect saw their own disciplines as being superior in their contribution in humanity and believed that disciplines of the other were only able to encourage or engage with ideas from their own field of expertise. It is perhaps in this debate that we can see how distinctions between disciplines emerge. Disciples, it has come from disciples or followers, fight for their belief in the truths associated with their way of seeing and experiencing the world. The term discipline implies both the ideas of a subject which has discipline, which has disciples or followers, and a discipline which forces a particular way of seeing the world and behaving in it. Writing about the discipline of education itself, for example, Bridges was a scholar. He suggested that discipline meant that inquiry was conducted in accordance with some established rules and procedures which provided the basis for, among other things, distinguishing truth from falsity, warranted from unwarranted belief. The requirement for disciplined inquiry became translated into the disciplines which embodied such inquiry, unquote. This was referred by or mentioned by Bridges in 2004. See, if we take Hawley identified 3 variations of knowledge production that extend across disciplines or disciplinary boundaries. 1, cross-disciplinary. 2, multidisciplinary. And 3, transdisciplinary. This was mentioned by Hawley in 2009. Cross-disciplinary is where related disciplines come together to address a problem which evades study from a single epistemological standpoint. For example, sociologists borrowed the tools of ethnography from anthropologists in order to develop knowledge and understanding about the behavior of tribes within mainstream societies. Similarly, multidisciplinarity is where 2 or more disciplines collaborate for a specific purpose. For instance, when computer scientists, psychologists, and sociologists cooperate in the design of human-computer interface. Hawley linked the concept of transdisciplinarity to Gibbon's ideas of mode 2 knowledge, which encourages cooperative interaction between scholars and practitioners. You see, in multidisciplinarity, discipline retains its identity, whereas in transdisciplinarity, that identity goes. So it becomes a totally different kind of mass of knowledge. These can all be seen as versions of interdisciplinary or interdisciplinarity, but for simplicity, we can think of interdisciplinary study being when students are encouraged to integrate and compare the approach, insights, and methods between 2 or more disciplines as part of the curriculum. So far as the study part is concerned, same thing applies to research. Multidisciplinary study, in contrast, is when a student studies across different disciplines, but no formal connections are made between the subjects a student chooses to study. It seems to be a buzzword in education today, and one that gets thrown around quite a lot these days. But what does interdisciplinary study really mean? And why is it so desirable? This type of study allows the student to learn by making connections between ideas and concepts across different disciplines. Students learning in this way are able to apply the knowledge gained in one discipline to another, which is different discipline, another different discipline, as a way to deepen the learning experience. For most effective approach to interdisciplinary study enables students to build, or research scholars to build, their own interdisciplinary pathway by choosing correct courses which make sense to them. For example, it is not too difficult to find a theme which crosses over disciplinary boundaries in literature, art, and history, or science and mathematics. Studying topics thematically is one way to bring ideas together, resulting in more meaningful learning. This can occur by allowing students to choose their own subjects, and their learning is deepened when they reflect on the connections between what they are learning in different disciplines. One of the biggest barriers to achieving true interdisciplinary study in education environments is the necessity for collaboration of educators. This can be difficult to achieve. If we look at it from traditional point of view, discipline-wise, people have raised abstract walls. So they don't want to talk to each other. They don't want to understand the point of view of the other discipline. So that's why I said it is difficult. This can be difficult to achieve, but not impossible. Interdisciplinary teaching and learning, or even research, is maximized when professionals from different disciplines work together to serve a common purpose and to help students make the connections between different disciplines or subject areas. Such interaction is in support of the constructivist paradigm, which allows for new knowledge construction and a deeper understanding of ideas than disciplinary study. So today we talk more of going beyond our one discipline, and in fact it is encouraged to create a mass of knowledge based on the understanding of different disciplines. I'm very happy that today we have a great scholar, great friend, great philosopher from that scientific point of view with us, Dr. Pestonji, who is a source of information for lakhs of people, and his work in different areas has been well recognized, widely cited. So particularly if we take an example of stress, he is well known for his works on stress. So a lot of things to learn from him. It is always a feast, intellectual feast to interact with him, whether offline and now online. So once again, welcome Dr. Pestonji to this forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, to express our words, express our affection and reverence to one and all present over here. The conference souvenir is a testament to the success of the conference. Saransh 2023 brought together around 78 researchers from diverse fields who exchange their ideas, insights, and experiences. This souvenir is an accolade to their hard work and dedication. It is not just a collection of articles and photographs, but it is a reflection of the diversity of ideas, the vibrancy of discussions, and the richness of the experience that will be shared during the conference. It is a record of the achievement of this Shodh 2023. Now, I would like to invite our chief guest, Dr. D.M. Pestonji, sir, to release the conference souvenir virtually.
How do you do it? Okay.
Thank
Looks
you very
attractive. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. It is our firm belief that this conference is going to be a grand success. And we are proud to present the research papers in the form of an ISBN book. The ISBN book comprises several high-quality research papers, each of which has undergone rigorous review and evaluation by subject experts. These papers cover a wide range of topics and represent the latest developments in their respective fields. The book provides an excellent platform for researchers to showcase their work, share their knowledge and expertise, and contribute to the growth of their respective fields. Now, I would like to invite our chief guest again to unveil the soft copy of the ISBN book and request our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Upinder Dhar, sir, to unveil the hard copy of the book.
How do you do it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See? Hmm? Okay. Sure.
It's not visible.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you
Is it
very much,
visible now?
ma'am. Sir, it's now, sir. Sir, please,
I can't do
rotate it.
anything.
Sir, it's upside down.
I don't- Anyway.
Yes, sir.
take it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Anyways,
sir. It's
release.
because of the background, sir. It's
Hmm.
Thank you very much, sir. Uh, Thank you very much to both of you for unveiling the book and gracing the occasion with your presence. Our chief guest, Dr. D.M. Pestonji sir, is the sculpture of human character, a seasoned scholar and a navigator of flagship of knowledge. Today, I feel elated to introduce him to you all. Dr. D.M. Pestonji sir Dr. D.M. Pestonji served the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, for over 2 decades from 1979 to 2001 as Professor of Organizational Behavior. In November 2000, he was conferred the title of Honorary Professor of the Albert Schweitzer International University, Geneva, Switzerland. He was Chairman Organizational Behavior Area of for 3 terms and also L&T Chair Professor of Organizational Behavior. He is a psychologist by training, having obtained his Master of Arts in Psychology with first class first and PhD in Industrial Psychology from the Aligarh Muslim University. He has been conferred the D.Litt Honorary Causa by the Banaras Hindu University in 2003. He was awarded the Albert Schweitzer Medal for Science and Peace in 2004. He has over 5 decades of teaching experience and has successfully supervised 36 PhD candidates and authored 15 books and over 150 research articles. His latest book is titled Organizational Stress Around the World, Research and Practice. His most recent publication in a book chapter titled The Post-Pandemic Workplace Challenges and Prospects in the book Leadership After COVID-19, published by Springer Nature. Professor Pestonji has been active as a trainer and consultant in non-business sectors like education and health. He has been temporary advisor to international organizations like WHO, USAID, OXFAM, etc. He was also an individual category elected member of the International Social Science Council of UNESCO to represent management sciences for 3 terms. He also a member of executive of the International Sociology Association. He served as a regional representative of the International Association of Applied Psychology. He also served many national bodies like Council of Social Science and Research, All India Council of Technical Education, and the Indian Council of Medical Research and the University Grant Commission. He has conducted a large number of management development programs for executives on the theme of executive stress and coping. Also helped organizations with stress audit to analyze and understand their role stresses with a view to incorporate relevant development inputs. He has been associated with public and private sector organizations, NGOs, MNCs, and joint sector organizations. His current areas of interest are executive stress, coping and issues related to executive health, job satisfaction, and morale. He was founder dean, Faculty of Applied Management, CEPT University, Ahmedabad since 2009. He was the GSPL Chair Professor at School of Petroleum Management, Pandit Deen Dayal Petroleum University, Gandhinagar. He was conferred in the year 2001 the Lifetime Achievement Award by his alma mater, the Department of Psychology, Aligarh Muslim University. Recently, the Indian Academy of Management conferred the Lifetime Achievement Award for his contribution to research in the field of management. He was also conferred the Mazda Foundation Award for Science and Education by the Federation of Parsi Zoroastrian Aguments of India. In January 19, the Ahmedabad Parsi Panchayat also conferred the Lifetime Achievement Award to Dr. Pastonji. Dr. Pastonji is one of the founder of the Academy of Human Resource Development. He is currently the chairman of Academic Administrative Committee of AHRP. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us in Shodh 2023. I request our chief guest to deliver the inaugural session.
Thank you.
Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for providing me this opportunity to be with you all. And I was a little apprehensive about what the chief guest is supposed to do in the distinguished gathering of researchers, especially younger researchers. But Professor Upinder Dar put all my doubts at rest, and he said that the chief guest is not required to do much except to give his blessings. So I can cut the whole thing short and say that well, you all have my blessing, whatever they mean, because different people read different meanings in these terms. Anyway, I thought I'll share some random ideas with you, and my ideas may not be as scholarly as Professor Dar explained what is multidisciplinarity, what is interdisciplinarity, and things like that. These are terms, and when you translate them into reality, research-related reality, things become very different. He rightly indicated that we live in our own silos, and we generally do not move out and accept what others have to offer. And this is one of the drawbacks which researchers on the whole, I think all over the world, experience. It's possibly more so in our academic environments. To start with, actually, I'll adhere to my 22 minutes allocated to me, so don't feel that I'm going to overshoot or take a lot of your time. We see a lot of expansion in higher education, research-related institutes and all that in the present times. But actually the point of origin is the National Knowledge Commission, NKC. And Mr. Sam Pitroda was the author of this approach, which he brought out, indicated that for a big country like India, a large number of youngsters coming up with good academic degrees and whatnot, we have to provide them more of amenities and facilities and infrastructure. So he suggested that, like, for example, one of the things I remember is that there should be at least 20 Indian institutes of management in the country. We originally had three, A, B, and C as they were known, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Calcutta. And then we had Lucknow and Indore. So we were stuck with 5. But he suggested you require about 20 of these. Similarly, IITs require, the number of IITs required is larger so that more young people can take the benefit and provide their skills and knowledge for the benefit of the country. So both these in the new policy, NEP as it is called popularly, had certain similarities. So I thought I'll just jot down and tell you something. Launch a new publicity campaign to attract the best young minds for careers in teaching at all levels and also academic research. So actually the focus is on providing excellent teachers, because teaching just in the classroom is not what a modern teacher in a higher educational institution is required to do. You also have to share new ideas or ignite the mind, as it's called, make people think of other things than the usual classroom curriculum. Then this leads to urgent regulatory reforms in higher education, reducing regulation while improving governance. So a lot of autonomy, a lot of freedom for testing new ideas, etc. Were encouraged. Greater autonomy for departments within universities to introduce new relevant courses along with encouragement and reward for innovation in teaching and research. Now, there are institutions which encourage this type of a thing. If you have a publication in one of the top-ranking journals in your discipline, they provide you some financial incentives, big financial incentives. I believe there are anything like 2 lakhs to 4 lakhs of a one-time reward given to teachers who publish in real top journals. Then we require administrative reforms, depoliticization of appointments and more administrative autonomy. Now, this has been a bane of our academic system, and for almost 30, 40 years or even longer, it has been believed that the politicians have made great inroads into academic spheres of activities also. There have been politicians who have been responsible for setting up universities in many states. I mean, I think it started all with Maharashtra a long time back. Gujarat is also one of the examples. And we are told that down south also, we have this type of a practice that politicians, they float academic institutions. And once they float academic institutions, naturally, there would be some type of control with the exercise directly or indirectly. So enabling research environments in universities, providing access to digital media in universities in parallel with funds for better libraries and laboratories. So funding has always been an issue, and possibly that's one of the arguments, one might say, or reasons for not getting top-ranking researchers to come forward with careers which are academic in nature. Then quality undergraduate teaching is another issue, and introduction of a well-planned 4-year courses to enable direct entry into PhD program. We don't know how it is going to work out in the longer run, but the NEP suggests that you can get into a PhD program directly after having done 4 years of graduation. Otherwise, the pattern is you do your graduation 3 years, and then you do your 2 years of master's, and then you get into your doctoral program. So let's see how it comes up. I mean, there's a wish that possibly the idea may be to increase the numbers at entry point for doctoral program, but we really don't know how actually it's going to be working, because the traditional pattern of thinking is that at the master's level, you tend to get some ideas about what future research you are capable of doing or you should be doing. So at the graduate level, we really don't know. Though 4 years of graduation will mean that you are already equivalent to somewhat the first year of the master's program. And funding is certainly a big issue. Multiple pathways for entry to a PhD program while maintaining entry standards, support and promotion of cross-disciplinary teaching and research programs. Now, in many countries, we have a standardized sort of program of testing, and the score that you get makes you eligible to get into a doctoral program of one standard or another. That is, when you look at universities across, you find that some universities require extremely high standards or high achievement in your program, and some are a little more lax about it. The quality of doctoral work, a preliminary vetting of the synopsis of PhD thesis, followed by vigorous and rigorous external examination of doctoral thesis, encouraging doctoral students to teach with remuneration provided via teaching assistantships and all those things. So these are good systems accepted and used in other countries, and let us see how they work in our environment. And then the most important industry-academia interactions, a policy framework for meaningful public-private partnership in universities, encouraging private investment in education, research, and innovation backed by appropriate taxation measures. This is another side to encouraging research at the national level. And global outlook in research, creating joint PhD programs between universities, both within and outside of the country. Now, this is a practice which is rather low-key in our country. And let us see whether we really get a lot of advantage by putting it in the NEP. Because much will depend on how all these things are actually converted into practice. As ideas, they are very good ideas, and some countries, as we know, have really done well using these ideas. But how far they are applicable in our academic environments remains to be seen. Then I believe there's a basic issue of relevance of research outcome. Whatever research you do, I mean, who uses it? And there are different kinds of users of research findings. And sometimes it is said that there are no users, but you still do research. So, like for example, and this is a very offbeat example, you look at product obsolescence. I'll just invite your attention to advertisements about ceiling fans. You compare the ceiling fan advertisements of 2022 with ceiling fan advertisement of 2023. And you find that the advertisements which are coming up now in 2023, they speak about, they show us a different type of ceiling fan altogether. So that apparently some type of research is on, and it has been on for several years apparently. And now it is supposed to be converted into a product, and this product is now coming to the market. So research got converted into a product, and product got converted into advertising. So product innovation is, I think, an ongoing thing, and it can be at various levels, like this very simplistic example of a ceiling fan can be, contra indicated with, say, what you might have read in the newspapers yesterday about India launching 34 satellites with one rocket. Now, the rocketry goes back to about 40, 45 years in our country. And we had some very, very small rockets going into the space, not even entering the space, But slowly and slowly, now we are at a stage where we can launch multiple satellites with the help of this one single rocket. So there's a tremendous upsurge in product innovation. And we have economic and developmental needs at the national level, international level, and regional levels. This is a lot of ideas have to be worked on. Lots of things which need to be done at a social level, at a national level. For example, researches about food grains, agricultural researches, and not only just the quality of food grain, but also the quantity. I can give you a simple example just to invite your attention to this fact that our population has grown about 4 times than what we were at the time of independence. And the land mass available for agriculture has shrunk because cities have become larger, bigger. They've taken more land. Villages have become larger and bigger. They have also taken more land. So the cultivable land in the country is much less than what was. But then we don't have shortage of food grains. That means in real terms, the output of grains has gone up tremendously high. And therefore, the population increase has not been an impediment to growth. We have problems which we keep facing. They require a lot of research, crisis management. For example, everybody is now aware of the COVID-19 and the Holocaust which we experienced because of that. We have had earthquakes, we have had floods, and we have had civil wars, low intensity warfare as it is called, and there are a lot of things happening with the DRDO, the social scientists, the psychologists, the sociologists coming together to do something to help remedy the situation. I also believe that, we can grossly divide researchers into path-breaking research and repetitive research. Repetitive research is something very common, very popular in the universities and even in repeated organizations. It is something has been developed and then we keep on repeating it and trying to add a variable here, delete a variable there. But what is required is path-breaking research that is entirely new thinking, entirely new development of materials, development of thought processes, and even developing new interpretations, with the help of computers and all. And computation as an aid to all varieties of research in all branches of knowledge is something which we have to be very interested in as a national level, irrespective of branch of knowledge to which we belong. For quantitative research, we only have been mainly dependent on SPSS, but there are JASP, R, Lang, essays, JMP, strata, etc. For quantitative research, we have Atlas T, Provalis, of course. For data collection, we have now SurveyMonkey, Qualtrics. For indexing citations, we have Zotero. For report preparation, we have LaTeX, MS Office, etc. Interestingly, and this is an aside, I'm celebrating the 60th year of my career as a researcher. My first research article was published in 1963, which is precisely 60 years earlier. And it was published in the Indian Journal of Social Work. There were very few journals in India, actually, that period. And publication in IJSW was quite considered to be an important achievement for a young researcher. And this article was, I was the second author. My first author was my teacher, Dr. Sultan Akhtar. And this was on drivers and conductors of Uttar Pradesh government roadways and private bus services. We are comparing the government roadways and the private services. The number of cases was 472, the huge number. You know? Can you think of data collection with the help of a psychometric instrument, and your sample is drivers and conductors, people who are not highly literate, people who are highly overworked, people who are not interested in helping any researcher to give any data of any variety. So it was quite a learning experience. We went around meeting them, intercepting them literally, just as they park the vehicles, we will catch hold of them, sit with them on a charpai or a bench, offer them tea and bidi, and then solicit their help and cooperation. Nowadays, many times I hear young researchers telling me, oh, how difficult it is to collect data from these people. You are not even seeing your sample face to face. It's all done with the help of a computer. And this was the phase, this was the time when we did not have any calculating facilities, not even calculators. Let me repeat, not even calculators. The electronic calculators, which you see sometimes at shops and all nowadays, shopkeepers keep these calculators. You know, they quickly calculate and tell you what amount you're supposed to pay for all purchases. So these things didn't exist. Everything was done with hand. You had a pencil and you had an eraser and you had drawing sheets on which you will draw lines and you will make enter your data, and then all the calculations, applying all the statistical formula literally by your own hand. My most recent paper is 2 months old, January 2023, and published in a internationally accepted journal. And it's on mediating effect of psychological well-being in the relationship between spiritual climate and role stress among working professionals. It's on a sample of 201 cases. And there are so many instruments which we have used. Psychological well-being at work, spiritual climate, role stress and whatnot. And this is all done, highly advanced, model building and calculations. And, because we have the computers at our command. It is the computer which helps you do all these things in a jiffy. Yeah, and nobody can doubt, nobody can say that there are any errors in what you have done. Why? Because what the computer printout shows is supposed to be sacrosanct. Unlike what happened, when I published my first paper 60 years ago, there people can always say, but how are we sure that the calculations you have done are correct? So things have become very different across generations. See, in the 1963 publication, I am a second author. And my first author is my teacher. In the 2023 publication, I am still a second author, but it's my student who is my first author. So what I'm trying to convey to you is that don't think that, research is something which, where you stand on formalities or, the social structure and things of that sort. You can collaborate, you can work with anybody, okay? It doesn't make a difference. You remain what you are and other people remain what they are. Recently, the government is coming up with the trident approach. And I'm saying this because it's very, very recent. It's about a week ago that I came across this thing. And they are now trying to request or trying to suggest to industry to join hands with academic institutions, universities, etc., or laboratories where these are there for specialized knowledge. And universities should engage with companies or organizations. This is one element of the trident, and clustering of institutions they want to put together. For example, they are saying that suppose a city like Ahmedabad or a city like Delhi or Mumbai or any of these, maybe even Indore. You look at all the institutions around in that small geographical area, encourage them to come together and do things together, like, for example, if I think of Ahmedabad, we have some very important top-ranking government of India institutions, like we have Plasma Research Institute, and we have ISRO, we have Physical Research Laboratory, we have got Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, we've got National Institute of Occupational Health, and we've got so many universities. So, can these come together and develop some type of a synergy in research? We all know that they exist, but we do not believe that there should be any effort to bring them together to contribute to good research. So there is some type of a clustering which has been suggested. It can be under one umbrella or it can be under several umbrellas. I don't know how it comes out. These are, sometimes somewhat depressing statistics which are emerging when you compare ourselves with other countries like China or US or whatever. But I think there's no need to compare, keep on comparing and feeling that, we are nowhere. It's not true. We can think of doing things our way and developing our younger talent to contribute to the well-being of the country. We have, the government has envisaged NRF, or the National Research Foundation, with 50,000 crore Indian rupees. And they will provide universities with merit-based funding and attract philanthropic money to universities. That's how all this happened. I give my best wishes for the research journey, and I'm quite aware about crisis of individual researchers. All researchers, somehow or the other, they generally face unforeseen and imponderable difficulties during the career as a researcher. But, this is this part of the game, as they say. And one thing which somehow intrigues is that with all the technological and computational support, information and library support, etc., we still require about 4 years to complete a PhD. And this is just like in the pre-technological revolution era. In my period also, 60 years ago, people were taking about 4 years. So faster research is the need of the century. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be doing things quicker. I wouldn't say faster, but certainly quicker. I had this type of a very funny idea that usually a research scholar, when he or she looks at the actual research conducted for a degree program, the total time required is not more than 22 months. People may laugh at this type of an estimate, but I have been experimenting with it for over 50 years now. The total time you spend actually doing your PhD work, I'm not saying about the duration of your enrollment as a PhD scholar, but the actual time required is roughly 20 to 22 months. You do not require more time than this. Rest of the time goes into many other things, productive and not so productive. So my simple message to you is just do some proper time budgeting, devote yourself to your work, and I'm not trying to be pedantic or submaniacal to you. Focus on your work and see that every day that you are there as a research scholar is a productive day for you. Thank you very much. And I wish all the participants and those who have not joined this day, still all the researchers in the country, all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your influential message and the best wishes. A calm water is like a still soul. River keeps on flowing. With this word, I request our chief guest to release the brochure for Shodh 2024. Technical team.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Any event can't be organized overnight. The wheels start moving about the months ago. It requires planning, hard work, and support of so many people. I invite Dr. Pragya Palot, Coordinator, Session Management Committee, Shodh 2023, to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
I feel honored to deliver the vote of thanks. On behalf of Shodh 2023, I express my gratitude to Almighty to bless us with courage and the spirit to arrange this glorified event. We express sincere thanks to the chief guest, Dr. D.M. Pestonji, to accept our kind invitation and honoring this event with his esteemed presence and motivating address. We are thankful to the participants for showing their interest and be a part of Shodh 2023. We convey heartfelt gratitude to the eminent panelists of the Best Thesis competition for going thoroughly through the thesis of the participants well in advance and for sparing their valuable time for the live interaction with them. I thank all the chairpersons for today's technical sessions for agreeing to examine and evaluate the research work of the participants for the best paper presentation. Efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. The constant support and motivation of our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Upinder Dhar sir, is highly acknowledged. Sincere thanks to all the HOIs, HODs, faculty, staff, and technical team of Sri Vaishnava Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya for extending their support in various forms as and when required. Many thanks to the student volunteers, Vallabh Vijayvargi and Aditya Tiwari, for working tirelessly right from the beginning and bringing it to the current form. Further, thanks to all the audience and participants for attending the inaugural session of Shodh 2023. At the last, I convey regards to all the individuals whose names could not be recalled, but they have supported us directly and indirectly in this journey. Thank you to all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. With these words, in the
Thank you very much,
continuation of the
Dr.
closing
Pestarji. Thank you
classes,
very much. Thanks for
Yeah,
sparing the invaluable time.
No, most welcome. Welcome. It made me think and it made me look around for some material myself.
Thank you.
and I request all of you to join the technical session through online platform from 1 p.m. And at the end of this closing of inauguration ceremony, I request all of you to please stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you very much, all of you, to join the inauguration ceremony. Thank you very much, our Chief Guest, sir.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Okay, namaskar.
Namaskar.